Do you want to take your handmade business one step further by finding some wholesale stockists for your products, but you've got no idea where to begin with that? Then stay tuned because today's video is for you. Hey everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name's Anne and I'm one half of the Sussex Handmade Soap Company. We are a handmade bath and body business based in Battle in East Sussex, and this is our YouTube channel. On this channel we share everything to do with our business, from making, selling, the legal side of things, and everything we can kind of think of to help you guys. So if that's your kind of thing, then do the right thing and hit that subscribe button. In today's video, we are following on from our video last week on wholesale, what it is, and good things, bad things, and we are following that up with how to find stockists for your products. So if you've decided that yes, you do want to take the leap and you do want to offer your products to wholesale customers for them to sell on, you may find, like we did, that you have got absolutely no clue where to start and how to find those first important wholesale customers. We have been selling wholesale now for 3.5 years. And we're doing fairly well out of it. We have got a larger number of stockists now, but in the beginning it was a very different story and we had no clue where we were going or how we were going to actually reach out and find people who would love our products enough to stock them. So in today's video we're going to share everything that we did to actually find those stockists and sell our products. So the first thing you need to consider is the kind of places that are going to actually want to stock your products, or the kind of places where your products are going to be suitable. And for us, we sell, as I said, handmade soaps, body butters, scrubs, things like that. Our target stockists are places like gift shops, places like cafes, because bizarrely we do get a number of cafes that actually stock our products. You can look at farm shops, you can look at garden centres, you can look at local attractions. So we've got a stockist down in Beachy Head in Eastbourne. They're called the Beachy Head Story, and they tell the story of Beachy Head, and they're a little museum with a gift shop attached, and we stock the gift shop. So yeah, look at gift shops attached to attractions that people, especially tourists, may want to visit. You can also target, if you are selling similar products to us, places like bed and breakfasts and holiday lets. We have got some bed and breakfasts and holiday lets that sell our travel size soaps, which are smaller versions of our main soaps that we purely stock bed and breakfasts and holiday lets with them because they're an ideal size and they work really well. So if your business is similar to ours, then those are a few places that you can consider. If you're selling a different kind of product to us, then many of those avenues for your products are still going to work and they're still going to be the same. So you can still target the gift shops and the garden centres, all of them. Just give them a go. You know your product, you know where you think it would fit. So rack your brains, write down all the places you can imagine your product fitting in, and then you've got to find those places and get in touch with them. So when we first started doing wholesale, we decided that it was going to be best to email the people we were interested in. So we made lists and lists of all the little places relatively local to us where we thought our products might do well. And we fired off about 100 emails to various different gift shops, introducing ourselves, telling people a little bit about our business, and asking if we could come in for a meeting and just introduce ourselves, bring a few samples. What we found is that those emails did not do well. They did not generate a lot of interest. We had 2 replies, and I swear it was nearly 100 emails that we sent. We had 2 replies. Both of those replies were positive. Both of them actually invited us in, and we did end up stocking both of those companies. So it worked well in that respect. But there was an awful lot of people that didn't reply to us. And actually, with emails, you never quite know if they're getting through, because we later on followed up with one of the shops and he said that he hadn't got our email, and we actually ended up stocking him purely by chatting to him face to face. And had we not done that, we would have just written him off and thought he wasn't interested. But turns out the email didn't get through. So watch out for that if you are trying to reach people through email. But it's a relatively, I was going to say good, but I wouldn't go as far as good. But it's a way of introducing yourself, but don't expect massive success from it. You might get a couple of shops, which would be great, but expect the majority of your emails to be either ignored or unread. The next way that you can get hold of potential stockists is again to use the phone. Just give them a quick call, ring them up, see if you can come in, introduce yourself, introduce your products. We don't tend to use phone because for us, I don't like the phone. I hate the phone. I will do anything I can to avoid speaking on the phone, even to people that I actually know and like. Except my mum. I don't mind speaking to my mum on the phone because she doesn't really communicate any other way. Well, I mean, obviously she talks in person. She doesn't email and she doesn't WhatsApp and stuff like that. So I'll talk to my mum on the phone, and now I'm getting way off track. So let's pull it back in. Sorry, Mum, if you're watching this. I've made you sound like old and weird. Okay, cut this now. So back to the telephone after that little blip there. So yeah, telephone, I try to avoid the telephone, and we'd done the emails and they hadn't worked too well. We honestly just kind of bypassed ringing people up, but that would be an option for actually getting in contact with people if it's something that you guys wanted to try. The next option is actually just going in person and introducing yourselves in person in gift shops. And for me, this was really, really hard to do because I don't know, I don't like turning up uninvited. There's just something about it I don't like. I suppose it's, you know, a similar vein to the kind of cold calling, and as my previous employer will verify, I'm rubbish at cold calling. When I was 16, I lasted half a day selling double glazing. I walked out at lunchtime because I just couldn't deal with it. I didn't like the rejection and being hung up on, and I hated the job, and I hate cold calling. But for our business, that is an option that we actually went with. I must admit, Wayne went in full of confidence and at the front, and I'm kind of sneaking along behind, trying to look professional but feeling like a bad reject from The Apprentice. But anyway, so we went round to a few shops and we took a few samples and we introduced ourselves, and actually loads of the people that we spoke to were really friendly. They were really receptive to us being there. They gave us their time, which is a really kind thing to do. What I will say is, if you are going to do this, try and pick a time when it's going to be quiet. You don't want to turn up on a Saturday afternoon or, you know, Sunday lunchtime when there's going to be masses of people, because they're not going to have the time to speak to you. Pick a quiet day and a quiet time of day. So we generally go for a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and we kind of go like mid to late afternoon, and that kind of timing works well because quite often the shops are relatively quiet and the shopkeepers have then got time to actually speak to you and get to know you. So 3 years in, and I still find it incredibly nerve-wracking when we just go into shops without having arranged an appointment, and everything in my mind would, if I hadn't done it, say don't do that, make an appointment, be more professional. But actually, the just walking in and introducing ourselves has been our best way for getting wholesale customers. We have achieved a lot of our new stockists through just walking in and introducing ourselves. And as hard as it is, it works, and it has worked for us. And we have never been turned away. We have never been told to ring up and make an appointment. The shopkeepers have always been really good to us and really kind. Obviously that could change, but at the minute that way kind of works the best for us. Another way that you can make stockists aware of your presence is by actually advertising that fact on your website if you have one. We have got a website and we have got a whole little section dedicated to trade where people who are traders can come in, they can read about what we do, and they can then fire us off a quick contact form and say, we're interested in stocking your products, tell us some more. And I can then follow up with them with a catalogue and info and price lists. So if you have a website, make sure you publicise the fact that you are happy to wholesale to people, because you will get people contacting you through your website. And we have had, again, a fair number of people contacting us through our website, probably nearly as many as we have had through just walking in and introducing ourselves. So make sure that people know that it's something that you offer, because not every business does offer wholesale, especially small handmade businesses. So you may be getting overlooked if people don't realise that you do wholesale. And on a similar line to promoting on your website, if you attend craft fairs and events, make it known at those craft fairs and events. And that can be just by having conversations with customers. You can generally find or generally tell, I think, when people are interested in stocking your product for their business. We have had a few people come up to us at events and ask us if we do wholesale, and we always say yes we do. Give them a business card so they have got your contact details, and if possible take theirs as well, because then you can follow up with them a few days later. Perhaps send them your price list, send them your catalogue, or just introduce yourselves and say, give us a quick phone call. You'll speak to Wayne, not me, if you are interested, and we can sort of talk things through and introduce ourselves and perhaps arrange to come and visit you if you wish. So make it known at any events you are at as well that you do offer wholesale options. In today's digital age, there is of course social media as well. So when you have found some shops that you are potentially interested in stocking, one option would just be to follow them on social media, because then they may well notice you, they may well have a look at what you do, and they might get in contact with you directly. And even if they don't, you have then on your little list, you've got a list of all the companies you're following, and it's kind of like a good memory jogger when they post something to remind you that you want to kind of follow up with them and introduce yourselves. So following on social media is great, and by that I mean obviously the Instagram, the Facebook. Don't ask me about TikTok. I don't TikTok. I am too old for TikToking. I don't know how it would work on there, but yeah. The old-fashioned ones, the Instagrams, the Facebooks and all that. Follow the businesses you're interested in, and again, promote yourself and say that you are looking for stockists. We put up posts on Instagram and Facebook saying, do you know of a lovely little shop that would want to stock our products, blah, 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 blah. Just, make yourself known and ask for what you want. So you want somebody to stock you, make a post saying you want people to stock you and to get in touch. And that can either be the businesses directly, or it might be that there's people that know of businesses that might be interested in your products, and they will then pass your name on. So that can work both ways with that. You will either get businesses directly, or you'll get people that know businesses or friends of friends. You know how it works. It's social media. That's kind of the go with that, isn't it? And one last thing you can do to try and gain some wholesale customers is ask your customers to recommend to you any shops that they know of that you might not know about, that they think your products would go well in, because at craft fairs and events you will get talking to customers, and if they're friendly and you're getting on well and they like your products, say to them, do you know anywhere in this area that might be interested in stocking them? And they might say, oh yeah, there's a lovely little gift shop 10 minutes down the road, and you haven't heard of it, you never know of it, but take the name of it and you can follow up. So you could get stockists through that. And the other thing you can do with customers is you can ask your customers directly to recommend you to any shops that they like and know. This does work better with the smaller, more independent stores where people are a little bit more known. We sell in a couple of village stores, so places like that are ideal because people get to know each other a little bit more in places like that. So, Bob from down the road could go to his local village store and say, I bought this brilliant soap that I really like at this fair a couple of weeks ago. Here's the details. If you think you'd be interested, give them a call. I think with the big chain stores, that's probably not going to work so well because they're a bit more faceless, aren't they? But with the local communities, get your name out there. Ask people to recommend you. Ask those people for recommendations, and you will find shops you hadn't thought of, shops that didn't know about you will find you, and they can get in contact. So that works fairly well. Again, we've got a few stores that way, not masses. It is not as lucrative in terms of bringing new customers in as the walking in and introducing yourselves or the publicising it on the website, but it does work. So once you've got a list of places that you think your products might sell, and perhaps you've had some communication and maybe you've arranged a meeting and you're having some success with actually getting in contact with businesses, the next step is often going to be meeting them face to face. And I say often because sometimes people will just purchase directly after email communication, which is fine. That's nice and easy. You know, you can go back and forth with the emails and then you can send out their order. But perhaps you haven't quite got to the stage of somebody ordering and they want to know more about your products and they want to know more about you, and they have invited you for a meeting with them. Now, there are a few things we would recommend when this happens. And the first thing is you kind of need to treat it like a job interview for yourself and your products. So you need to be punctual. If a time has been booked and you're not just sort of walking in like we do, just introducing yourself off the street, if they have booked a time with you, make sure you are there at that time. And I know this is the basic information that always gets drummed into you right from an early age, but it's so important. If you're late, you're immediately starting off on a bad foot, giving your business not the best reputation right from the off before you've even said hello. So be punctual. You're also going to want to be fairly smart when you go in. I don't mean suited and booted and all of that, but you know, your clothes are going to want to be neat and tidy and clean. I always put a little bit of makeup on. I know in this day and age you don't have to, but it makes me feel more confident, so that's what I do. Yeah, just neat, clean, tidy, smart and presentable, as my parents would say. You also need to go in with being confident. Be confident about what you are doing. Be confident about yourself and your product. And as I've said, that is where I find it really hard when we are just walking in off the street. Wayne's really good. He can just go in and just chat, which is brilliant. So Wayne does tend to lead our conversations when we are doing wholesale and meeting stockists. That is one of his areas of expertise. It is not one of mine. I do warm up during the conversation if it's going well, and I kind of chip in and do what I can, but it's definitely an area that I would love to be better at. But thankfully, my lovely business partner is good at it, so it's all good for us. But yeah, you need a level of confidence, and you definitely need that level of confidence in your product as well. Because if you're doubting your product or you don't believe in it, they're going to see right through that, and no one's going to buy a product that you yourself don't believe in. So confidence is the key there. And staying on the products as well, you need to know your product inside out. Know its unique selling point. For us, we have got our little limited edition soaps. I think I've got one. Oh yeah, we've got our little soaps that are something that sets us a little bit apart. So we've got like our little beach themed ones and our locally designed Seven Sisters, which is a range of hills in East Sussex. We've got a soap themed on them. So we do have a few unique selling points. Obviously the palm oil thing, that's not unique to us. We don't use palm oil. And we do have the eco-friendly packaging. So all of those points that are bonuses for your product, you need to know them inside out, because people will ask you questions. And know your prices, know your retail prices, know your wholesale prices. Just, yeah, know your product inside out before you try and sell it to somebody else, or else you will go out and one day someone will catch you out and you'll end up feeling like a fool. The other thing I would definitely recommend 100% is taking a few samples with you. Samples of your products, because that is what they are investing in. Obviously, the way you come across plays an important part, but ultimately they are purchasing your products. So you want to be able to show them your products, especially for something like what we do, which is the handmade soaps and bath and body products. They want to be able to smell them. They want to be able to see what they look like. And if you're turning up without any samples of your products, they're not going to know what they're potentially purchasing. So we take a few little samples of everything that we do. Like things like our sugar scrubs, where we've got 8 of them, we perhaps take 1 or 2 jars. The soaps, we have 13, and we generally take 5 or 6 soaps because the soaps are our best seller. Bath bombs will take 1 or 2. You don't want to take one of absolutely everything you do, or you'd be walking in with a suitcase, but take at least 1 sample of each product type that you sell. And I would also recommend, with something like a soap that we do, take an unwrapped version and a wrapped version, because then they can see your packaging, they can see how it's presented, but they can also see what the customer's going to see when it's unwrapped. So showing them at the nude soaps, they can have a proper smell, they can see what they look like unwrapped, and I think it definitely helps having unwrapped samples for those customers to look at as well. Now, in terms of things like catalogues and price lists and things like that, we don't actually take hard copies with us because it's more money spent on wholesale catalogues that we don't really have spare. We're a small business. We don't have money spare to have catalogues printed out. So what we tend to do is we will take a business card and we will hand, if they're interested. If they're not interested, really not interested, and they're just like, no, it's not for us, don't leave a business card. If they're a bit unsure, leave them a business card. And if they're all for it and they're like, yeah, this is great, we love it, definitely leave a business card. Leave them a business card, and then when you get home, follow up by sending your catalogue through email. You'll need to take their business card as well. I meant to say that. Take their business card too, because then you've got all their details, the shop name, an email address, a contact number, so you've got all those details there. When you get home, if they've shown an interest, then send over a wholesale catalogue so they can see all of your products, they can see the prices. Tell them a little bit about your company, so have a covering letter explaining all about yourself, because the chances are they will have forgotten half of what you told them in the meeting anyway. So have it written down so they've got a quick reference point where they can see everything all about you. And now we're back to my own little bugbear, which is emails. Our emails seem to not like going to certain accounts, especially Hotmail accounts. So if you don't get a reply to your email, if they don't acknowledge it, you hear absolutely nothing, wait a few days, say 4 or 5 days, potentially up to a week, but I'd probably around about day 5, just give them a quick phone call and follow up with them and say, lovely to meet you. Did you receive the catalogue? Hopefully they'll say yes, in which case you can say, okay, lovely, any questions, or, just, it's a quick phone call, just say, thanks, bye, but less abruptly than that, because that will come across as quite rude. So basically, thank them for their time, say, if you've got any questions, let us know, we'll speak to you soon, bye. If they haven't got your catalogue, which has happened to us, and happened to us couple of weeks ago, then you can try and resend it, or you can ask them for an alternate email address to resend it. And obviously resend it straight away and say to them, if it doesn't come through, I'm really sorry, but if you are interested, give us a quick call and we can sort out anything over the phone, or even back in face-to-face if need be, because emails do cause problems when they don't arrive. And it's nice to know that after all that hard work, being out, speaking to people, doing the hard bit, you don't want to be let down when you're doing the final part, sending through your catalogue, and the email doesn't get delivered. So always follow up to check they have got your email. And the last thing I will say about when you are visiting people and trying to sell your products wholesale is make sure you arrange these meetings and you go on these little stockist finding outings when your stock levels are good. Do not go when you are running out of stuff and you don't have enough, because the last thing you want is somebody to give you a go, yeah, I'm going to put in a trial order, and for them to order stuff and you to then realise you don't have enough stock and you can't fulfil it. That will not look good. So make sure before you do go out finding all these stockists that you have got good stock levels of everything, and that you are going to be able to fulfil an order if one does come in. We haven't actually gone out for stock, well, a couple of weeks ago we went out stockist hunting, but prior to that we hadn't been stockist hunting in probably close to a year, purely because we have been constantly playing catch up and restocking our own levels, and there was no sense in us going out because we didn't have enough of everything. We are getting back on track now, and we are going out stockist hunting again, and it's paying off. And this comes back to the number one way I would say to find stockists. For us, again, for you guys it might work completely differently, but for us it is that walking in off the street with a few samples and introducing yourself. And it does take time. It's not an easy process. We went out a couple of weeks ago on a Wednesday, and we probably spent 5, 6, 7 hours or so out of the house purely walking around the streets with our bag of samples trying to sell our stock. And we went to 3 different towns in one day, and we spoke to lots of different shops, and the first few shops, weren't successful. And then we went into one shop where the guy seemed really interested. He was a lovely, lovely guy, seemed interested. So we've got his card, he's got ours, and we're hoping that something might come of that. Obviously, we don't know for certain, but we're hoping something might come of that. And after that, we went on to another town because we didn't want to hang around in that town after we'd got somebody who was potentially interested, because we don't stock more than one shop per town. So we moved on to another town, and straight away, the first shop we went into, I think we got lucky. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But she really liked our stuff, and she said she was definitely going to place an order. So at that point, we swapped cards, and then we went home for the day because we'd got somebody in this town as well who said they were interested. So we had been planning on doing a whole tour around that town. But as soon as she said she was interested, we thought, we'll go with it. If it turns out she doesn't place an order, we can always come back. But we don't want to hit up all the shops and have everyone going, yeah, we're going to place an order, because then there's too much competition in one town. So we went home, and sure enough, the next day she emailed us. She had our catalogue because we'd sent it the night before. The next day, the order comes in, and we have got a trial order with this new stockist, and that is purely from walking in off the street. So it does work, and it's incredibly hard to do, but it is bringing in money. And our bank account's now looking a little bit healthier because of all that work that we put in, wandering around trying to find stockists. So if I had to name the best way for us to get stockists, it would be walking in, swallowing the fear, and going in and introducing yourself in person, because that is the thing that has worked for us. But by all means, try all those other suggestions, all those other methods of finding stockists I have mentioned. And if you've got any of your own ideas, please do drop them down in the comments box. It's lovely if we can all kind of share ideas and bounce them off each other, because there's probably people out there who are thinking, I've got a brilliant idea and she hasn't mentioned it. If that's you, put it in the comments box so that everyone can benefit and we can all share and it can all be great and lovely. I think that is about it for today. I hope it has been of some help. I sort of feel like I've just been sat here rambling. Hopefully when I watch it back it's going to make some sort of sense. We'll find out, won't we? But yeah, if you enjoy our videos, please do hit that like button. Please do hit subscribe. Leave us a comment if you want to. And follow us for more of our business shenanigans. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.